Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to ESA Winter 2021. I had to just take a moment to make sure I said 21 because I was definitely going to say 2020 there. It is a brand new year. Welcome back to another fantastic event here at ESA. Speed runs galore are going to be happening here to wow your eyeballs and your minds in equal measure. My name's Bo the Hero. I'll be the reading, but of course, next up we have a very wonderful run by the very wonderful Covert Muffin running Hyperlight Drifter. I am going to send it straight over to you, mate. Take it away.
Great, thank you so much, Bowie, for that introduction. Hello, ESA. I am Covert Muffin, and today we have a very special run. This is going to be Hyperlight Drifter, any percent, which basically means that we can complete the game with any sort of amount of completion. No constraint there. However, there is a constraint on the category known as no major glitches. You can sort of think of this as a selected restrictions-based category where we try and create a category that is not biased by input method, because we do have both keyboard and mouse runners and controller runners in the community. For the Drifter today, we're going to be showcasing off the Alt Drifter. So if you've played Hyperlight Drifter before, this Drifter is different. You can basically think of the Alt Drifter as things in general are going to be sped up. However, I only have a max health of 3, and there's lots of things in this game that deal 2 damage to me. So it might be a huge spaghetti fest, but hopefully not. But yeah, if you guys are good on time, we can go ahead and get started. Okay, great. Starting in 3, 2, 1, go. All right. So with the Alt Drifter, we actually don't have to do the tutorial section that you normally have to do with the new game Drifter, which is the normal Drifter. But here in this game, there's no text at all, and so it actually just shows information, usually like pictographically, so with like images and symbols and such like that. But here is actually the elevator to the final boss, but in each cardinal direction, we have to activate a pylon, as well as collect 4 of 8 purple tasty triangles. All right, but here you'll notice that I am moving around using slow dash in groupings of 3, and so we have a way to extend these chains, but for now I'm just going to be doing them in groupings of 3. So there you might have been wondering, how did I kill those enemies so fast? Well, with the Drifter you actually have a ranged weapon as well as a melee weapon. And so what I'm doing is I'm firing the ranged weapon about like a frame or two right before I ended up using the melee attack. And this is known in the community as plinking, which is a fighting game term, because we had some runners who came from the fighting game community. Cool. Okay. So as I'm going through in this section, you're going to notice that I'm going to end up being able to extend my dashes with groupings that are much higher than the number 3. And so the way I'm going to be doing this is by dashing into certain ledges. So like here, right, I get a very big chain, just simply because, oh, that was bad. All right, we're fine. And so if I just so happen to dash into a ledge without falling off of it, I'm able to actually extend the dash chain pretty much infinitely, as long as I just keep resetting the count back to 1. We also have other ways of resetting these slow dash chains, but for now, ledges are going to be the most important one. As nice, it did a really nice grouping there. And there was a chain of 4, right? But here is going to be our first sort of objective, which is known as a module, or you can think of them as tasty purple Doritos. So with these purple Doritos, there are actually 8 in each of the cardinal directions. However, we are actually only going to be collecting 4, because that is all that is required to be able to get access to the final boss. Okay, good RNG there. Great. Okay, so here I am going to be doing more plinking, but we are going to pick up a special item known as a key, which is going to save about a minute for the run overall. But there I'm going to lure over one of those bird guys by shooting him with a pistol shot, and then I'm going to be coming down to collect this key. And so even though this key is kind of out of the way, it actually is going to save a lot of time later in the run. So here, these birds, as he's trying to run away from me. Oh, and I fell. Okay, I only have 1 health, so I might actually just heal here for safety for the marathon. Okay. But you'll notice that as I'm coming through this game, I'm going to be picking up these little golden squares known as bits. And when I collect 4 of them, what'll end up happening is they actually form 1 piece of currency. And so we're actually going to be getting 3 full pieces of currency, as I just barely dodged an attack there, in order to be able to buy an upgrade known as Chain Dash. Okay, so here I actually just dashed into that cutscene there, which allowed me to move around in it. And I am going to be starting this arena. Ooh, that was close. I almost died. Okay, no problem. This arena. And so in arenas, enemies spawn in very specific fashions. Some of them are based on a timer, like that last enemy there. And when I take down a certain list of enemies, which in that arena, it's every single enemy, I'm able to unlock the walls, and it allows me to progress. Cool. Okay. So there, I just did a really important dash reset, because that is actually going to line me up perfectly with this bit here before it goes on cooldown. And then I'm going to come through this transition zone here to collect this bit, which is actually a recent sort of change to the route. Oh, nice, I got that dash reset. Okay, sick. So we'll go for that one. Cool, okay. Great. What I can say about North, because in this game you can actually start by going west, north, or east for your first area, is that in North, it's pretty much the easiest place to get through right at the beginning, except the boss. The boss in North is the hardest boss in the run. But the main reason we actually go north instead of west or east to start off with is just simply because the bit collection is a little bit faster. So here I'm doing a trick known as just teleporting out while collecting a module. We don't have a very clever name for that one. But basically, right as I start activating the module, I open the map, holding down the use function, which I use to collect the module, right? And that actually allows me to simultaneously collect this module while activating the teleport. And that basically allows us to stack those cutscenes, and that is allowed in No Major Glitches. All right, so now that I have 3 tasty purple triangles, I'm actually going to be able to open this 3-module door. Whoops. And so the 3 module doors are pretty much what gate the final boss, and also just general progression to the pylon, which is sort of the last objective in a given area, usually. But that being said, we're also going to collect a module as well as another 4 additional bits. Because right now we only have 2 pieces of currency, and we're going to need some additional, 1 additional piece of currency in order to buy the only upgrade in the run right now that saves significant time, which is known as Chain Dash. And Chain Dash is going to allow me to move... Okay, everything's a 1-hit kill now. Okay, great, we're through. We're through, no problem. I am going to get a safety medkit then, that I was not planning on grabbing. For marathon safety. Okay, cool. So there is the final module that we have to get in North in order to be able to unlock the final boss. Here's a safety medkit, and then North. To save the frames. Here's another safety medkit I'm going to grab because I am very nervous right now. Okay, so here's North Boss. So North Boss is going to be summoning all these purple pathways that are going to be dealing 2 damage each. So I'm going to try and manipulate them like so. And then dash out, dodge that one. Okay, so anything purple you see is really scary and it can kill me. All right. Yes! All right. Nice. We got a center kill. Okay, that's really good. That's right. That is the scariest boss fight in the entire game. And one of the things that really drew me to this game initially as a speed game is that the boss fights are very, very difficult in the casual playthrough. And that one, definitely for the speed run, is the absolute most scary thing ever. So there, we got a new weapon, which is the laser rifle. Oop. Oh, that was close to bad. Okay, we're fine. We're fine. The laser rifle is a great weapon. We'll be showcasing that off in a bit. But more importantly, we're coming back to town after the 4 modules, after killing the boss, after grabbing the pylon. And we are now done with North, and we are going to be picking up Chain Dash, which is probably one of the craziest aspects and the thing that makes this run very difficult and very complicated to go fast at. Okay, so here I'm going to be clicking my mouse. at a specific rate. And this is going to allow me to be able to dash faster. And you'll notice in the top left corner of your screen, there is now this very thin gray bar that appeared. And this is my stamina meter. So as long as I have stamina, I can actually dash at a faster rate, as you see. However, you'll notice that I'm dashing mostly in groupings of 2. And this is because the first dash of each dash chain does not cost stamina. And so, ooh, that was bad RNG, but we're fine. Okay. Oh, and we fell. Okay, that's fine. That's fine. There's an elevator here where I'll just heal. Okay, cool. Dashing in groupings of 2 and 3 because it conserves stamina more, but here is a full chain. Yep. Okay, there we go. I got the backup too. So there I was trying... Oh, shoot. I was trying to go for a ledge reset, but I actually ended up missing it, but that's totally fine. That's totally fine. That was still pretty good. But you'll notice that you can actually chain dash in an infinite chain. And so in town, there's actually this... Ooh. This 800 dash chain challenge where you have to try and do 800 chain dashes in a row. And it's very difficult because every single chain dash has a really specific and really tight timing press. So when I'm dashing in the number 4 or 5 or more than that, what'll end up happening is that I have to press dash again between 0.2 and 0.3 seconds. If I fall outside of that window of acceptable values, I will actually end up failing the chain dash and it will revert back to slow dashes or cause me to get stunned in a sliding animation. That is bad. But here's another arena that we're going to do in a very specific way by knocking over a little explosive plant in order to spawn the final enemy a little bit sooner. Here's a really tight section. Good. Yeah. And so there was an example where I wanted to do another chain of 3 dashes to just perfectly close the distance to this module, but I just failed the timing press. And so it is like at the highest level of this game, it's very insane to see people's PBs and world records just showing off these mechanics. Because just like even missing one of these chain dashes is very, very costly. Okay, but here is going to be another arena, and we are going to show off the laser right here that is going to have pretty much infinite range, but also it's going to have piercing to allow me to kill 2 HP enemies with 1 shot of the laser, but also just kill them instantaneously and both at the same time. All right, but here is a key door. And so if you remember that key we actually ended up getting in North, well, there is the use to be able to come in here into the fire torch room, which is a little scary, so I'm going to play it safe for marathon safety. Okay, cool. So this room has a global timer, and so all these torches are firing and then coming off cooldown at the same time. So the moment you enter the room, whoops, they are on the same cycle. Okay, good. We're good. Okay. Whoops. Okay, great. So there, what I ended up doing is I ended up bonking into a wall. And so when you are chaining with chain dash in groupings of 3 or more, if you come into contact with a wall or some physical objects that is unmoving, then what'll end up happening is you actually end up getting stun locked for a little bit of time. And it's really bad because if an enemy hits you while you're trying to stand back up, you just start that knockdown animation all over again. So you can get into some pretty gnarly infinite damage loops that can absolutely murder your run. Totally haven't lost a PB to that before or ever. Nope, definitely not. Not me. Covert Muffin, professional speedrunner. Oh boy. But anyways, up here is just going to be another arena. So this is actually going to be an excellent time for donations. So take it away, Bowie.
Oh, well, You wouldn't, I forgot to mention the donation part of this entire event when I welcomed everyone back to the show. But we are, of course, raising some money for Alzheimerfonden, the Swedish national organisation for fundraising on Alzheimer's disease and other dementia-related diseases. So we should talk about some of the donations coming in. Nyrasaw, $10.
Hey!
Says, you say you're the second best muffin, but you're the best muffin in my heart. Good luck on the run. Covert one smile. Of course,
thank you.
Going on about this laugh of yours, Mod 366, the 366th of the Mod clan, $5 donation. Gotta donate for the man with the most infectious laugh on the internet. Good luck hyperlight drifting with hyperspeed today and not getting lost in a random blind forest tomorrow. Money goes towards naming the Pokemon Soul Silver trainer Kayzaron, as that run needs to be blessed. Now, there's no quotation marks around blessed, but I'm going to add those. Blessed. You know what I mean.
Excellent.
But, one thing I should say as well is... I've forgotten. Never mind. Back to you.
All right, great. Well, here's going to be the next boss fight, where I am going to fire a pistol shot as I enter the initial cutscene. Then, standing into a very specific spot, I am going to be able to avoid the boss and absolutely stunlock the boss into a repetitive animation of slamming his fists. And after, I don't know, like maybe 10, 15 seconds, the boss does start to move around, but we're able to take down the boss fast enough where that's no longer an issue. But that being said, here I'm actually going to quit and reload because the game saves right after I collect the monolith. And this is actually going to save about a second RTA, which stands for real-time attack, which is basically just a normal timing system. But here we go. Here is going to be the shotgun, and we are going to use the shotgun to great effect throughout the rest of the run. It is going to be what we end up using to take down bosses very, very quickly, especially in West and South. That being said, here I actually ended up collecting the very final module, and so because this is the last one, we are going to be teleporting back to town, and that is going to do it for East. So we are now about halfway done with the run. But that being said, as I'm coming through West, this is just going to be a very relaxing area where I'm going to be focusing on nailing these chain dash chains. So this is an excellent time for more donations if you've got them.
Okay. Well, we can always talk about the event as well. We do have some we'd want to get some donations in so we can, make Covert Muffin laugh even more because you love the laugh. So why don't you say some things, some funny things to him to make sure that we get that laugh rolling and echoing throughout our brains for the rest of the evening. I do want to thank our sponsors as well for the event. I should mention those, of course, ViewSonic Elite. Obviously Twitch as well, and Kaspersky, kind of consistent sponsors. But obviously the big one this event is Koei Tecmo, who are supporting as well. So thank you, a huge thanks to them for helping make this event possible. But yeah, no donations right now. But of course you guys can change that because we want to try and raise as much money as possible. And it is during this calm section that we just mentioned. So either we can make Muffin laugh, and you can remember all that, or,
I always have things to explain, so don't worry about it. Oh no,
sure?
Get out.
Are you sure?
No.
Okay, great.
Sorry. All right, no, I'm fine. Everything's
sure?
fine. Okay.
Okay, cool.
Okay, so there, I missed an attack on a bush, and so the dogs started piling up on me. So the dogs actually accelerate in a random direction, sort of based off of where you're standing. So I'm absolutely amazed that I didn't take a death there. But here we go. So here's a transition zone that's just peeking out of that tree. I didn't go out of bounds there, which is banned in No Major Glitches to go out of bounds. There, actually, the transition zone is just literally existing in the normal area. So that was very nice to get through that section that quickly. But here, upcoming here, we're going to have another one where just standing in a really specific spot is going to allow me to get through that transition zone as well. Up here in this area, this is actually going to showcase another use of the laser itself, which is going to be breaking these big crystals. So usually these big crystals require you to deal 3 damage to them, but the laser actually is going to be one-shotting these crystals. So coming down here, I'm going to use the laser to do just that. And then attacking these objects is going to get me my ammo back. And then here, breaking this crystal ahead of time, it's going to allow me to dash through and standing in a really specific spot. Nope, I'm just going to go for this again to show this. Yep, I'm able to sneak through there very, very quickly. That just saves like a second and a half over going up and around. So I actually ended up like either equalizing out or losing a little bit of time by showing that. But it's a very nice little tight dash. Okay. Whoops. All right. So there, what I tried to do is dash over the elevator and then activate it in the middle of my dash. And this is known as a mid-dash activation, which I know is not the most clever of names, but yeah, there it is. Whoops, I have the wrong weapon out. That's fine. That's fine. I forgot to switch. So upcoming here is going to be a module, and this is known as the ISEX module, because it was discovered by a runner whose screen name is ISEX. And this is very, very handy because the other module that we used to go for way back when was terrible. There was lots of enemies, and you would try not kill any of them in order to be able to get through the area a little bit quicker. Yada, yada, yada. Oops, did it again. But with that module, all you have to do is just get to it and then activate it. So it's much, much, much nicer, and it's a little bit quicker. So upcoming in this area, I'm going to try and go for a really tight dash. Nice. Okay, good. So there's a lot of like spots where you can run into trouble, and of course, if I end up hitting a wall, I will actually end up bonking and getting stunned and potentially taking a death, because there are all those little crystal traps and everything all around. But upcoming here, we're going to be coming to our next boss, which is going to be the West boss. And the West boss is notorious, especially in the casual playthrough of the game, as probably one of the hardest, if not the hardest boss to do casually. However, we're going to actually trick the boss into going into one of its later phases of freeing enemies, and then I am going to be bursting them down with a shotgun like so. Okay. Yes! Alright, that was awesome. Good. Perfect. Literally perfect. That was beautiful. That was really, really good. So there, what I actually ended up doing also is that the shotgun has a native cooldown associated with it. But what I ended up doing was I ended up swapping my weapon to the pistol and then swapping back to the shotgun. And that actually takes the shotgun off of cooldown. And allows me to make use of that 5 damage burst that I get from each shotgun shot. Okay, so upcoming here is going to be Dogeland, where we get to deal with more dogs. So I'm going to focus to try and do a very specific setup. Yeah, nice. Okay, cool. So they're trapping the dogs on a bush by dashing in really particular ways. As you can see, they're like stuck behind this one bush. Allows me to teleport out from the module without having to be worried about them coming and murdering me. Because if you actually get hit while you are trying to activate a module, what'll end up happening is it cancels it out and you have to restart it over again. But coming into this final direction, which is going to be south. Oops. And south is notorious as being a run killer. South is easily the hardest section in the entire game. So I am probably going to take a few deaths here, to be completely honest. But there, what I actually ended up doing was using the shotgun at the end of a dash to be able to fire it back to get a little bit of extra speed with a slide. And that's only useful because I don't have to slow down in order to get ammo back with the shotgun later, because activating a waypoint gets us that ammo back. So here in this area, oh shoot, okay, this is bad. So there, yeah, I got shot by the rifleman as I was trying to, oh, I forgot to switch weapons. As I was trying to activate that switch, and so it canceled it out. But here, I'm just going to grab a save here for marathon safety, and then coming down here, I'm dead. Yep. And that is why we take safety saves in marathon settings. So I'm just going to quickly heal back up, and we'll try this again. So here, yeah, nice, that was much better. Okay, cool. So up here, the crushers are going to be on a specific cycle. So these crushers are going to be one-hit kills. Ooh, okay, dodge that one. And I'm through. Okay, great. Grab the save. Great. Okay, that is probably the hardest screen in the entire run to do without dying, and probably one of the most costly deaths in the entire run. But upcoming here is going to be the next boss. And while I am spawning the boss, I'm going to swap back to the shotgun. Good, nice fight. Yeah, this boss is probably one of the easier ones for the speedrun overall, because it just stands in the middle, and it spawns all these like little drones. And the drones are nice because they get you back a bunch of additional ammo. Because every single time you attack an enemy with your normal attack, which with the alt drifter is this like very long, thin spike, it will actually end up getting you ammo back. So if you hit multiple enemies with that primary attack, you end up, that's right, getting ammo back a little bit quicker. Whoops. There we go. Okay. All right, but South is not over yet. We still have to collect an additional 3 modules, 2 of which we're going to be getting now. And then we are going to be moving into the Archer boss fight, which is probably the second hardest boss fight for the run overall. Okay. All right, there we go. Okay, so I am actually going to take a safety heal here. So in this next screen, there's going to be a rocket trooper here, which could just cause me to die instantaneously. Okay, the rocket despawned, good. So I despawned the rocket there by having my camera look upwards, so that I did not have to worry about impending doom and death and dying. Whoops. Okay. But up here next is going to be the second module in South, and it's going to be incredibly important that I don't take a death until I reach the next module, because there is actually not going to be another save point until the next module, because we're going to be doing a really, really cool sequence break up here in this next screen. So dashing down and around here, up. Okay, so standing in this really specific spot, whoops, and then dashing up and to the right, there we go. I'm able to actually catch an invisible platform on the next side. Oh, rude. All right. Then standing here, I'm going to fire the shotgun, which, nice, that was good RNG, which is going to shove enemies back and then also explode 2 explosive barrels. And those explosive barrels deal massive damage to all enemies around it. So I'm able to take out those units immediately. Okay, all right, medkits are looking fine. Okay, good. 2, 3, 1, 2. Okay, so up here is going to be another really tight sequence break that I'm going to go for right before the boss fight. All right, nice, okay. So walking to a ledge at a diagonal there is actually going to allow me to sneak off the ledge a little bit much. But here is Archer. I'm going to focus because this is really hard. Oh, shoot. All right. All right, good, nice. All right, I got a middle kill. So that was a little bit slow, but I was able to take down the boss first try. So I'm really happy with getting that in a marathon setting. Cool, okay. But upcoming here is just going to be a dash challenge, which is going to be the final module. And then I'm going to be teleporting back to town to head towards the final boss. So that being said, Bowie, if we have any donations or you'd like to talk about sponsors, etc., feel free to take it away.
Thank you very much indeed. We got a $10 donation from Betga saying, "So good,
Hey.
ESA is back, and I always love Muffin's speedrunning and commentary." Have fun.
Thanks, Becca. Thank you, Becca, I am.
We also have a $50 donation from Michael K. _. Hey, Twitch chat, you want your message read out like this, while customizing the runs to your liking, while also helping out a charity just like this one? Then you should check below the stream. Donate and give our friendly Bowie the difficult task of reading out your name. And I guess your message as well. Thank you very much, Michael. It's a lovely donation. Did you like my, TV, commercial voice?
Yeah, I got you, Bowie. That was
I try
good.
my best, It's a very different, approach to commercials and advertisement. So I tried to emulate the American way.
Way to be good. All right. So here we are. We've activated pylons in each of the cardinal directions, as well as grabbing 4 modules. And so we have unlocked the elevator to the final boss. But that being said, there's a lot of other categories. We have leaderboards for 99% as well as 100%. Actually, 100% isn't up there. That's fine. I'm the only one who runs that anyway, because it's awful. It's terrible. But also, all modules is really exciting, as well as the out of bounds categories. We have a lot of runners who've put in a lot of work throughout the years, especially one runner whose screen name is Spring Sylvie, previously known as Bloxar. She has been absolutely instrumental to the community, especially over the last like 2 years or so. And she currently has the world record in this category, as well as pretty much any other category that she decides to put her efforts towards. So major shout outs to you, Spring Sylvie. Thank you so much for all your work. But upcoming here is going to be the final boss, where it's going to have 3 phases, lots of screen filling effects, and you're going to see hopefully none of them, as I am going to be trying to use the shotgun swapping as well as plinking to be able to take down the boss very, very quickly. So here right at the start, the boss is actually going to be intangible for a bit, so I have to wait until the boss like roars again, and there we go. All right, so there we go. There's the first phase. I'm going to stand in the top right corner in order to try and lure each of these nice small dudes into there. Nice. Okay, so second phase is done. One more phase. Okay, that's not as good. All right, awesome. Okay, so time is going to be coming up right after the screen fades to black here. Okay, so here we go. Get ready on time. And time. Yay! Clap, 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 clap. That being said, we do have beginners resources. So if you're interested in trying out this speedrun yourself, very, very, very much go to speedrun.com/HLD. And in the guides tab over there, I have a beginner's tutorial for No Major Glitches. It's pretty old, but it still has a lot of good, relevant information. We also have a Discord with a lot of active members, especially people who have actually recently picked up the game within the last few months. So if you're interested in trying out a speedrun for the first time, don't be shy and come in and say hello to everybody. We're all really friendly. But I want to give a major shout out to Heart Machine for this excellent game. This game is one that I've put in a lot of time and a lot of effort into. So major thanks to Alex and the rest of the crew. And thank you, ESA, for having me. The Alzheimer's Foundation, especially the Swedish branch, is an amazing foundation, and they do a lot of good work, and definitely means a lot to me, especially on a deep and empathetic level. So thank you guys so much. Continue donating. The marathon is just getting started, so I will see you guys again tomorrow for Ori and the Blind Forest Randomizer, and I hope you have fun. Cheers.